Yo, yo, what's going on, everyone? Dan the Glassman here, and you're watching the Glassman's World. So that's where basically I blow glass all the time, almost daily. I stream live pretty much all the time. I used to do a lot of Twitch TV, Twitch.tv, and I was streaming there for a while, about a year. Basically, I made it to the affiliate status within like a month or two, I think within 2 months, and then I was able to start making money there, but I didn't have the complete system and operating system going. And I used to watch this guy called Mets Glass, and you know what he would always say, I'm gonna be working here by myself anyways. I might as well just live stream, create some videos so I could share some information, some content, and things like that. So Mets Glass, thank you so much because you've always just you put that into me, and you're like, yeah, why not? as as long as I'm streaming, people can watch. If I'm blowing glass, why not? I'm sitting here by myself anyways, right? So let's get this torch going. We'll start up the torch here, and we'll get everything going, and we'll set you guys up in the all new configuration here, because I got you guys on a microphone stand. I'm a musician, so I have access to microphone stands and different things, tripods, whatever, different kinds of stands and things like that. So, being a man of many talents, I like to figure out things, tinker with stuff, and lo and behold, I put together a real simple contraption with a microphone stand and a $5 wraparound um, phone holder. So that's what you guys are on right here. And I was actually on a live stream. I believe it's in Germany, but I'm not 100% sure. It could be somewhere else where all the farmers. I don't know if you guys know about all the farmers and the tractors and this protest going on. A lot of people don't even know. A lot of people don't know. It's crazy. So let me show you this real quick. All right, so let's bring you guys in. We're gonna switch this around real quick. Boom and bam! Welcome to the studio. So this here is what I'm watching. This is what I was on just a moment ago. I was talking to all these people here, and we're simply just. Oh, let me move this out of the way. This is the old configuration. I don't know if we're ever gonna use this again, because I really love this new configuration here. And I didn't pay for my YouTube Premium, so we've got ads. We've got ads. Sorry, but we do. So yeah, so this is what's going on in Germany. A lot of people don't really understand or know what's going on here, but there is a huge protest happening. It's pretty amazing. So I don't know. I don't know if you guys have been paying attention to any of this world news and what's going on. But let's get you guys positioned correctly for the glass. We don't need to be watching this. This is basically, apparently it's like 4 days old, 3 days, 4 days old. But it's from, is it Crux or is it Cruise? Let me make sure I'm getting this right. Just so we can, give credit where credit's due. So I do believe that this is, who is this? Crux. Crux. Crux YouTube channel. Um, so yeah, if you want to subscribe to Crux, there you go. They got they got 2.33 million subscribers. They don't really need any more subscribers, but if you want to subscribe, go on ahead and subscribe. So yeah, we were in this comment section here, and we were talking about all the things that are going on. A lot of people haven't really been paying attention to what's going on with the World Economic Forum, with the Davos, Miami Mall aliens. Everyone's been paying attention to Miami Mall aliens, and people have been paying attention to what's going on with the island list. Island boys with their island toys, and we got all these distractions going on right now, right? And yet no one's really paying attention to what they were talking about in Davos and what they're talking about at the World Economic Forum, WEF, the WEF. And so Germany, a lot of German farmers have taken it upon themselves to say, yo, F-U-W-E-F, F-U-W-E-F. That should be a new shirt. F-U-W-E-F. That's my new company campaign or whatever. And so, um, yeah, we're going to try to make some t-shirts. If you guys want to buy some t-shirts, F-U-W-E-F, we'll figure out how to make those. I don't know if y'all know, but you know, this guy here, the Glass Man, not only is he a glass man, but he also can print shirts. I can do all kinds of stuff, yo. But so let's get y'all in here. Let's make sure we can get you guys in a good position here. Let me just set up the camera just right. Make sure you guys can see what's happening with the glass and all of it right here. So let's get you in a really good angle. And will I be in the way right there? I'm not going to be that close in, but I will be in a little close. All right. Let me just make sure we're all good. I think so. I think we got you guys set up pretty good there. I don't know. Maybe I should go above just a little bit more. Just like that. And you guys can see what's really going on. You don't need to see the TV or anything like that. I'm going to be watching a couple of things here. I don't know. I might stay in the chat. I don't need to watch this stream, but I can actually still continue to comment here. Okay, so I just wanted to let them know that, hey guys, I'm still here, and I wanted to basically just let them know I'm going to be using their live stream here, and that way I can talk about it, you know? So, a lot of people haven't been paying attention to what's going on. So Davos it's like an annual meeting. I believe it's an annual meeting, or maybe every like 2 or every 4 years, where the world leaders, you know, like all these like, you know, you got prime ministers and you got elected officials and all these like people who are part of the WEF, the World Economic Forum. It's a group, a club, it's a private club, a gang, I don't know what you want to call it. Some sort of a, you know, one of those like join the Boy Scouts or whatever. Except these guys are the ones who are running everything. You know, they're the ones who are writing the Boy Scout manual and telling y'all, this is how you earn your badges, and this is how you do this, and this is how you do that, right? And so the World Economic Forum, they're the ones in charge. Somehow, they've become the world leaders. We've been talking about this for a long time. You know, what's the, where are we moving into? A brave new world, a new world order, right? And so this new world order has been talking about how we are going to all come together, all one, right? All one, coming together in one global community, right? And what did we go through in the last few years, right? We went through a global pandemic, guys. They brought fear to the globe. And is it a globe or is it a flat earth? That's a whole nother topic of discussion. There's a lot of flat earthers all around the globe. I love that one. My 11-year-old told me that one. I was like, oh, that's good. That's a good one. We should make that one into a shirt. There's a ton. There's a bunch of flat earthers all around the globe. So, people aren't paying attention to what these world leaders are doing, or the fact that we've basically been pushed into a global government. We're now being governed, guys, by a world governing entity. Like that's what it is, straight up. Like there is no ifs and buts. There's no denying that. Right now, we have been told we're in these new world orders, right? Where we've been given orders like, hey, you can't go outside unless you wear a mask, right? You can't stay at this job unless you get the jibby jab, right? You can't go to school if you get the jibby jab, right? You can't do this, you can't do that. Order me to do this, order me to do that. Stay 6 feet away from the people you love. Don't hug anyone. Make sure that your heart chakras are not connecting with that biorhythm that we have within us, that energy life force that we have within us. Make sure that you are not allowed to connect that energy life force with anyone else. Keep 6 feet apart. Make sure you wear a mask. Get yourself sick by breathing in your own bacteria constantly. Don't ever read any sort of papers that Fauci, Dr. Fauci wrote on the pandemic that happened with the Spanish flu, and how most of those deaths, 75% of those deaths, occurred due to wearing their daily mask and wearing dirty masks and basically breathing in their own bacteria and getting themselves sick. And so, a lot of people just want to listen to people. See, the thing is, a lot of these people on this planet, they want to act like they're a bunch of grown-ups, yet they don't know how to act and how to live under, like, the laws of God. So they have to follow the laws of man, right? They need governance. They need these parents to tell them what they can and can't do, what you're allowed to do and what you're not allowed to do. Oh, sorry, but Daddy said that we can't do that. I'm sorry, but Mama said that we need to go outside and wear a mask. If we want to go outside, we have to wear a mask. That's what Mama said. And Daddy said that we needed to get the shot if we wanted to stay working so we can continue our paradigm of being able to raise our family and be able to pay rent and pay the bills and all this stuff. So listen to Mommy and listen to Daddy and do what they say, right? Because they know what's best for us. So instead of being a sovereign soul under God, right? Everyone basically is under man's law. And that's the whole entire issue, is that people don't know how to govern themselves anymore. They don't know how to be themselves anymore. They got to follow these rules and this and that. You got to edit videos. You got to make sure you use a microphone. You got to use a better camera than a camera phone. You got to do this and you got to do that. Right? And I was like, fuck all that shit. Yeah. Fuck all that. Between me and God, my own personal experience here. And the World Economic Forum don't need to be getting involved. They don't need to be getting in the middle of any of that. They don't need to be messing with my paradigm that's going on between me and God here. But that's the thing, is that everyone here is getting misled by all of these lies and all these half-truths and all these false truths and fake narratives and all these staged events and planned disasters and all this stuff that's going on in the world. All this crazy stuff, right? Just make sure you eat the mushroom, right? Free your mind and make sure that you don't get stuck. And don't get caught in that rabbit hole for too long either. Make sure you're paying attention to what you're looking for. Don't get distracted in that rabbit hole. Free your mind and the rest will follow. Don't be colorblind and be so shallow. Just kidding. Alright, you guys, so I'm about to get started here. We're going to piece these two pieces of glass together. We're just going to do a quick demo. I'm not going to do an instructional or anything like that today. We're just going to work and we're going to play. Alright? And we're going to talk about what's going on in this day and in this world. And if you guys want to listen, cool. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. Be sure to hit that like button. And be sure to subscribe if you want to see me blowing glass all the time. I make all kinds of cool stuff, guys. I've been blowing glass for 28 years now. Started right here in Albuquerque, New Mexico. Albuquerque. You guys ever heard that song by Weird Al Yankovic by Albuquerque? It's a good one. I wish I could play it, but stupid rules we gotta follow, all these orders. I'll get a copyright strike if I play his song. So I can't do that. It's sad. Alright, hold on. Let me let me bring y'all up here so that way I can see what's going on. Yeah, because I can't really read. I can't really read. No one ever taught me how to read. No, I mean, I can't, the heck? Oh, that's my live stream studio. Okay. I need to get to this YouTube. Oh. Okay. I'm just going to bring up my video here so then that way if anyone does... Oh, and let me make sure I have the live chat on. I think I have to hit this button to make sure the live chat's on. I don't really know. Or maybe I just press that button and it shows up on my phone, but the live chat is always up. So I know when I press that button, and sometimes I'll see some chats that were already up there. But you know I don't get a lot of viewers here. I'm still small time. I'm a small time YouTube streamer here. I'm just barely getting started. I am a big time influencer though. I mean, y'all don't know who I am. But there are a lot of people in this whole globe, flat earth, that know who I am. Around the whole world, people know the Glass Man. They know the Glass Man's World. They know Gardenia Glass. They know the Drop of Water. Yeah, yeah. They know all my glass. Been doing glass for 28 years now. Here on this planet we call Earth. No, Earth. Some people say Earth with an F. Right here on Earth. Nah, I mean, know what I'm saying? Nah, dude, I don't know what you mean. I don't know what you're saying. You're not adding any context to your story. You're not saying anything. No descriptions. You know what I mean? Know what I'm saying? Yeah, word. You know what's up. I mean, I get a kick out of people who speak like that all the time. You know, you get them on video, and you know what I'm saying? Like that word. Big up. Like, wait, what? Like, dude, you just had a conversation with me, and I don't know how to even reply. I don't know how to respond. Like, all right, yo. What? What's up? What's going on? So I like this view. That's a nice view there. Pretty cool. Whoa, what's going on with the video? I click on the video. I'm getting some weird lines on my video. I think I got something going on with the connection here. With the connection. Is my connection on the video wrong? I don't know. Are you guys seeing any cross lines on the video towards the bottom of the video? I don't know. I don't know. I can show y'all. I guess. Look, when I get onto this on the screen right here and I move, it's got all these like weird lines right in here. I don't know if you can see that. Like now that I move the camera, it kind of messed it up. But yeah, I don't know. I got some weird lines going on right here. Well, let's keep y'all in the flow here, so you can see the work. Okay. But let me just scroll down here in case anyone decides they want to join in on the chat. You know, I'd tell everyone good morning. So I don't have any moderators. I don't do anything like that, you guys. I'm straight up analog right here. It's a one-man show. I'm a one-man band. I do it all. Producer, promoter, uh, executive producer, director, manager, talent scout, stage manager, promoter, promotions design, digital marketing, digital designs, computer graphics, all of it. Yeah, I'm a one-man band, one-man show here. I do it all. So when I stream, I'm just doing it straight up raw, live, raw, and unplugged. You know, it's how I do. You know, one of the first albums or CDs that I put out with Element 37 was live, raw, and unplugged. It was basically us on stage, and you know, very sincere to my heart. That show that was recorded for my own baby's wake, my own baby's life celebration. I lost a child when she was only 3.5 months old to SIDS. 3.5 months old. She had just had her very first doctor's visit, checkup, and the very first jabs that the babies get in life. I don't know if there's a connection. We'll never know, because they're not doing any research into that, and they don't want to prove that if it is connected and truth. Well, shit, man, they don't want to be sued. They don't want to have all kinds of lawsuits to deal with. They don't want to lose out on all the profits they've been making sure that every school child, right? Every child that's going to go to school, like, dang, we figured it out. All we got to do is just tell them, hey, if you want to go to school, you got to get the jab. Right? If you want an education, knowledge is power, but you got to get the jab. Right? Isn't that what happened? And so they basically have been doing this to us for a really long time. So by us following man-made laws and not God laws, we're not sovereign. A lot of people want to claim they're sovereign, especially the Native Americans, right? Even though they're like continuously getting funded through the feds all the time, right? They have to follow by the rules of the feds because they're on federal land. It was allocated to them by the feds. They want to claim it as theirs, but the ownership belongs to the feds still. You guys have just allocated that. Know your place and who and what you choose to serve. They're always against the white man, and still they're serving the white man. They still taking the Nestle bottles in all the time. They still drinking that Nestle water. You know, after they went in and destroyed the Nemus River, right? For all the uranium mining, right? Destroyed the Nemus River for the uranium. All the uranium basically desecrated that river all the way down from, Colorado? Isn't that where it was? All the way from Colorado, all the way down through a little bit of New Mexico and into the Navajo Nation, right? The biggest native nation, American Indian, because you got to remember, they're not true Indians. They're not from India. Hare Krishna, that's true India. You know, true history of man comes all the way from India. Native Americans want to believe that they're the first and everything, but they're so mistaken in many ways like that. Go back to Vedic knowledge. Go back to Rig Vedas. You know, so far advanced, we put it in writing. Whereas, you know, still the natives are still just passing story on generation to generation. Yeah, back in the day, our memories were superb. But now, we're so stupid, we can't even remember what we had for breakfast. Right? We are so dumbed down by all the smart dust, all the aluminum oxides and deoxides and everything, sulfides, all the aluminum that's in our food that we've been eating, cooking in aluminum pans, all of it. We have calcimated our pineal glands, fluoridated our pineal glands. We don't see clear. Our third eyes aren't even open up anymore. Yeah, some may say that, oh, I've dusted it off some so I can see a little better than others. But there ain't no one who's pure enough on this planet these days because of the pollution and the toxification on this planet that has created this haze on our soul, basically. So, you know, people really need to really understand the mess that we're in, the mess we've created, the mess we've generated by basically going along with what we felt was, you know, the right thing to do. Our own opinions getting us in trouble instead of following just simple Vedic scripture, following the laws of God. Now we're trying to follow the laws of man, and it's simply getting us all in trouble. So now we got all these farmers, right, in Germany, all these German farmers, and everyone's all for it. I stand in solidarity with you. I stand in solidarity with you. And you know, I completely support their hearts and their intentions. But do they really understand what's happening with their actions? You know, if the farmers aren't on the farms working the farms, who the fuck is growing the food for the people? Don't they realize that the World Economic Forum has plans to get rid of the food supplies in order to then bring the solution on, hey, we've got genetically modified foods and processed foods, we got all these fake meats. We got all this Cricket brand foods now you can eat. It's okay. You guys will be able to survive off of this new food that we're going to bring to you that you can consume. So these people, these protesters, they don't even realize that they're working for the devil, right? They don't understand that they're working for the wrong side. Like, oh my gosh, the biggest protest would be to say, F you, quit paying taxes to them, cut them off. You're wasting fuel right now. You just purchased all that fuel to go and park it in the streets. They want you to do that. They want us to go into a diesel crisis and a diesel shortage coming up soon. I've heard about some people talking about this. Now, whether or not it's true, whether or not it's going to happen, we'll soon find out. Sorry, I'm just talking. I'm going on my rant here. And I'm forgetting I need to work. I need to blow glass. But I'm trying to get this cooled down. I just sealed this glass together. I don't want to touch it. But we do need to make a beautiful red jellyfish pendant. So we're going to use this beautiful red ribbon cane that I made with the what I call moonstone. It's this white glass here that actually becomes like kind of a clearish at the end when you work it in the flame. I don't know if you can see that or not. When you work it in the flame, yeah, I don't know if it's zooming in. What's going on? Come on, camera. Well, you were able to get that. Alright, well, so yeah, so this white here, it's a little translucent on the bottom, and it kind of looks like moonstone to me. So I put that in the center here with the red on the outside. We flattened the piece of glass in the center and then twisted it up. So now I'm going to use a little bit of this, and we're going to pull off a portion of this. I need to find my, there it is. I have another rod right here that's got some of that twisted on there. So what we're going to do is we're going to use a smaller flame here. We're going to take off a portion of this here. So what I need to do is stretch this out, but as I stretch it, I twist it to keep that ribbon cane, that ribbon twist in there. All right. And I just need a little bit smaller of a cane than another one. We're going to actually have a center cane of ribbon, and we're going to draw like 5 or 6 lines or stringers of the skinnier cane that I'm pulling right now around it, and that's going to make the tentacles to the jellyfish. And we're going to make several of them here. I'm going to try to pull this out, and we're going to get several jellyfish made here. So I recently sold out on all of my jellyfish. The only ones that I have now are the ones that are actually here in studio. They're not even strung up yet. They're not ready for the display rack. So I still need to get them on some 2mm black wax cord, and then we can then they'll be available for sale. And these jellyfish, they're $30 online, $20 in person if you're ever here. You know, when I'm vending out in the public here in Albuquerque, New Mexico. So you can actually come and meet me. You can find me. I am open. You know, I'm easily approachable. You know, you come and have a conversation with me. We can have a little smoke sesh, whatever, or not. If you don't like to smoke, we don't have to smoke. If you're a streamer, YouTuber, and you want to come and check out the studio, I might be able to actually invite you guys in soon once I get this spot a little bit more cleaned up. It's coming along. It's coming along, guys. I'm trying. I would like to actually get it to a point where I can I'm going to build a better table, for one, because I don't know if you know, but look. See that? The whole table moves because it's on a keyboard stand. I'm a musician. I have access to all kinds of stuff, like I said. So I'm using a keyboard stand for my glass blowing. I'm using a microphone stand for my live streaming for the camera holder. I'm using my lap to hold the keyboard so I can type to you guys while I'm blowing glass. All right, so you see that? I got a lot of that pulled, so this is where it's pretty skinny here. We'll cut this off. Bam. So this is our like 3 or 4mm piece we got right here. And we're going to add these on top. Oh, yeah. Let's see. We got anyone watching here? I think there's a couple people watching. Thanks for tuning in. Oh, yeah. And you know what? I haven't even shared this out. So you know what? Let's let people know. I'll put these down real quick. Hopefully the glass, this clear rod, is going to be cooled down enough that I can pick it up here soon. All right, we got all these little rods. I've got a lot of glass on my table and I got a big mess over here. That's what I got. But I want to keep all these colors kind of out. All right, so all right, just want to let people know I'm live. I'm going to share it to a couple of my Facebook, my main wall, my main profile, and then my groups. I got a few different YouTube groups here. All right, so I'm live making glass and talking about current events in quotations. Come say hi. Well, actually, I should write, come say hi, like, getting lifted. Come say hi. Which, actually, speaking of, I should do a nice 2 foot tube rip real quick. Not on camera though, or else I'll have to change this to 18 plus. And we don't want to do that. We don't want to be doing all that. Oh, also, I forgot to turn the kiln on. About to make a jellyfish, and then I'm not going to be able to put it in the kiln, and it'll just crack. Okay, so bear with me. It's been a minute since I've been in the studio. I've been cleaning up, moving things around. We had to get all of our Christmas ornaments finally put away. We usually keep it up through January, and then February it's like, all right, we got to get ready for Valentine's, for my birthday coming up here this Saturday, guys. I'll be turning 100 years old. I'm the oldest, youngest Mexican there ever was. Just kidding. I don't even know where I came up with that. I'm stupid. All right, so let me take a big old rip real quick. That's what I want to do. Smoke me some greens right here. Got a big old tube. Got some flour here. This flour's all dried. I don't know if you guys ever lick your finger and then, like, for your own, not for anyone else. Like, don't do that for anyone else's bowl. I'm talking about for yourself. I don't know if anyone ever does that really. If your herb, like, I like to get a piece of cabbage because it's like, it doesn't have any real scent. A lot of people will use like orange peel and things like that, but I like to use cabbage. Some people use breadcrumbs, but then you get breadcrumbs in your stuff. Cabbage, it stays nice and thick, and you can tell the difference what the cabbage is compared to what your ganja is. So yeah. That's what we doing. Uh-huh. Man, those perforated stems, they really make for like a silent hit compared to them old ones where, your water piece would just gurgle, it'd be all bloop, 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 bloop. And now it's just like, and then you got the shower head perks, down stems and all, oh man, percolators and things, shower head perks. You get a nice, like, it's like, instead of bloop, 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 bloop. But I kind of miss that old feeling where like the whole entire tube just shakes on you. You feel it like it's all gloop 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 gloop. Y'all know what I'm talking about, right? All right. So some people like to smoke their joints in the morning, smoke their joints at night. Smoke 2 joints in the afternoon. It makes me feel alright. Smoke 2 joints in time of peace and 2 in time of war. Smoke 2 joints before I smoke 2 joints, and then I'll smoke 2 more. Boom, boom, boom. Boom, boom, boom. Boom, boom, boom. It's It's having fun. Like I said, we're just gonna have fun today, and we're gonna talk about current events, and we're gonna keep it lighthearted, you know, because there's a lot of masters out here in this world, right? Masters and debaters, and there's even master debaters, right? And these World Economic Forum leaders, they want to be the masters, right? And there's like this one master of puppets, right? He's the one master that teaches all the other puppeteers on how to eventually become a puppet master. So he's teaching all his puppeteers right now on how to turn everyone into puppets, all things, even the animals, are puppets in their livestock games and stuff. All puppets, right? No one lives under God anymore. It's all puppets. Master of puppets are ruling great. You guys know Master. 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 Metallica. That's my Metallica impersonation. I can't wait to hear the playback on that one. So, sorry, I'm still on my 420 break here. Another 4 minutes and 20 seconds to go. Smoke screens are everywhere today. Smoke and mirrors. Speaking of mirrors, I don't have any mirrors in this room. It gotta be a fun thing to make. I'm a glass artist. I can make a mirror, right? You just make a piece of glass, fume it real heavy on the backside, and voila, it's a mirror. I don't know. Maybe you could coat it black? How would you do that? Ooh, maybe. Do a fuming, a heavy silver fuming, and then coat it with a black or a cobalt blue. All right, let's check this out. Let's see if this, cool. All right, so where we sealed it together, it's now just warm. I can touch it, safe to the touch. Okay, we're gonna build this. Oh yeah, I was gonna share all these. Should I take another minute, get some peoples in here? All I gotta do is copy and paste, right? The only thing that it's so much easier to share on here when I'm just gonna go back, whatever. Who cares? Hey, we'll share on, at least we'll share on X. We'll tweet. We'll X tweet. Tweet X? What is the X? Like, that's so weird. This is my ex. I'm in love with my ex. Oh, dang, I'm about to break it. Oh. Okay, cool. Let's see. We can at least share it here. I have like a whole bunch of different YouTube on what is it called? Facebook. I have a whole bunch of YouTube groups that I'm on, but when I share it on my phone, like they all come up all easy when I press YouTube in the list. On here, I gotta type in YouTube every time. Type in YouTube. Type in, like, I ain't got time for all that. Who's got time for any of that right now? We're trying to stream here and make some jellyfish. So basically, I'm supposed to be making these red jellyfish here because I was asked to make an order for a friend of mine, and then we're going to be beating them up. We're gonna string them up and put some beautiful beads together on a necklace here for her as gifts. Um, so I told her I might make another one because she's already picked out the jellyfish that she wanted. But she told me that the person that's getting it is from Florida, and I was like, ooh. Well, in Florida they have they got like those manta ray jellyfish, right? Wait, they call no Man-O-War. Sorry, not manta ray. The Man-O-War jellyfish. That was a nice rip. I think that ganja worked. Just kidding. So yeah, so the Man-O-War jellies have more of like the reds, the oranges, right? And so I was like, oh, let me see if I can just make a couple red ones, and if you like this better, then I'll make these ones instead. And so all the ones that I had ready, they ended up getting sold, and so I'm like, well, I'll just make more, you know. I don't know if there's any sort of rush on that jewelry, except they're already got partially and mostly paid for, and so yeah, I want to get it. I want to get it back right away too. I don't want it waiting for too long, but I do want her to have the option of the red jellyfish, the Man-O-War jellyfish. So that's what I'm doing right now. So for those of you who don't know this process, I'm building up the jellyfish. If you're a glass blower, you know about the simple mushroom push, where we take a stringer, just a solid color stringer, and we force this stringer into a molten clear glass. It'll go through the molten part, right? Real easy, goes through, then it hits the wall that's not molten, it has nowhere else to go. So basically, as it hits that wall, it's just like boom. It like hits it like that, right? But it does that on all sides. So that piece, that stringer, then explodes out, or boom, yeah, like it basically just explodes out, and it forms a mushroom cap. So the more you push that stringer in, the more that thing goes boom and comes around, and the more you push it, the more that cap builds out this way. And so right now, what I'm doing is I'm building up the tentacles underneath this piece of solid color. The solid color here is going to be the bell to the jelly. And I use that translucent white once again that I really like. And then, let's see, where is it? There it is. And then a little bit of red on that white. And that red is going to explode out from that front portion of the glass. It's going to lead the way, and it's going to be the very edge or the rim of the cap. Now, at this point, you could try to draw little tiny dots there, but they're not going to stay. So you can't make a amanita. You can't make one of those with this. But hold on one sec. I'm gonna use the red, since the red is the very tip of that. I don't want any other color or clear glass to mess with that. But I'm gonna use it as a stringer here, or as a punchy. Sorry. So that way I can stretch this up just a little bit. So this portion right here, this whole top piece, is what's going to be the jelly. All this right here, that's all the jelly right there. The tip, there's a little bit of white, which is clear, and then this is all the tentacles drawn on top of this one here. So this is the main one, or the main ribbon cane, right? And I drew a whole bunch of tiny ones in this section just right here. So when I put that inside the clear glass, you will soon see what that does. It basically just it mushrooms out, and it turns into a beautiful jellyfish. So it's we're basically making the basic shape. It's the first thing that I was ever taught how to do in blowing glass, besides just gathering the glass, which is this: introducing the glass into the flame, getting it molten, not putting the whole thing in the flame right away, just slowly working the tip, getting that warm, getting the glass underneath that molten part warm now, and slowly bringing that molten part down into the rod, slowly 1 millimeter at a time, until you get about a half inch, 3/4 inch or so of the end of this, maybe even an inch, and you get the whole end of this rod nice and molten. Once it gets molten, you can then change the angle and use gravity to allow it to gather. So gathering is the first thing that you're ever taught in blowing glass, besides turning on the torch and safety. I always teach safety first, and then I teach about how to turn on the torch and knowing the acronym POOP, propane, oxygen, oxygen, propane, and then learning how to turn on the torch, to light it, to turn it off safely without it popping, and then we learn how to gather the glass, introducing clear glass into the flame, learning what flames to use, how to regulate your flame, not too much oxygen, not too much propane, having a good ratio, and then learning how to get the glass white hot, molten hot, and not taking it out of the flame over and over again and looking at it like, ooh, cool, look what I did. And like every time you take it out of the flame, it just gets colder. So you got to keep it in that flame, because it'll solidify, it'll cool down very quickly. So now this whole section is very molten. I'm not going to show you guys or bring it any closer to the camera. And I'm just going to force this in. I'm going to push it into the molten glass. I'm going to heat up the very tip where that color is, that translucent white and that red. That's just going to help allow it to just expand and spread out more. And then I stretched out the tentacles to a point to where I can see where they end and know exactly how much to push in. So I know they're all pushed in there. And then have a little bit more pushed in, so only the center tentacle is dangling on the bottom, is usually what I like to do for my jellies. Everyone has their own way and style of making jellyfish. I've worked on mine. I started working on mine in 2000, and it took me till about 2008 when I claimed that I perfected them to the point where they look extremely realistic. It doesn't look like just a bunch of glass like all thrown onto it to be like, oh yeah, that kind of looks like a jellyfish. Like, nah. I have people asking me like, are those real baby jellyfish? I'm like, no, I wouldn't harm a living creature like that. That's horrible. People, they put the, scorpions and beetles, scarabs, and different things in glass, or in epoxy resin. They make it look like glass, right? So people who don't know, they think it's glass that they're wearing, and it's really just epoxy resin. And they make a lot of things like that. I wouldn't. I don't. The only thing that I've put into glass, which I guess you can't consider it living, would be cremains when I'm making memorial glass. I'm one of the few glass artists that when I make a memorial glass, I'm also chanting and praying the Harinam, and keeping them extremely sacred, making sure that I smudge my whole work area, my workspace, and I make sure I keep it all nice and clean and sacred, and just it's you know, that's a very special process to do for someone. Alright, so right now I'm just getting all the air bubble out as best as I can. Simply heating it up in one place and allowing the glass to fall down on itself. It's simply going to pinch out the air. It's falling down on itself, and the hole is slowly collapsing onto itself, and it's just going to force all the air out. And if I do it in a controlled manner, then I should be able to get all of the air out of there. See, there's one air bubble at the very tip, which I'm wondering if the red has some air. Maybe when I added that little piece of red, or when I did the punchy, did I accidentally trap an air bubble in between right there? Because I definitely see a little air bubble at the very edge of the rim. And what's interesting right now too is that as I'm working these colors here, the red, it's a striking color, so that means that when you heat it up to a certain temperature, you can't see it. It just goes translucent. It looks like clear glass. The white opalescent color as well, the moonstone, I call it moonstone, that also is a striking color. And so when you look at this, which you won't be able to see because it's glowing so hot, when you have the lenses on, actually, I could probably just show you with the lens real quickly. Try to at least. You might be able to see that jellyfish inside of there. But it's barely in there because it's, sorry, these glasses are like falling and I'm trying to, that ain't working very well. But yeah, you can barely see it coming out right now. And eventually all the red and everything will come back too. But I need to keep the process going, and I shouldn't have let it cool down now. Because now I got to bring it back to molten here again. So yeah, these jellyfish, I sold out recently. And I actually I gave them to a friend so they could sell them while they're set up. I figured, you know, they'd probably sell them pretty quickly, and then they can make some money with me. You know, I do wholesale on my glass. If anyone's ever interested in getting my glass at wholesale and distributing it in your state, in your country, it would be a little bit more expensive because of shipping, right? And I don't know how that's going to work in the near future because of all the things going on with the ports and the cargo getting held up, and packages getting lost and stolen and all this stuff. All this stuff that we're dealing with these days. I don't know how that's going to work, if it's going to work out too well in the future for doing international shipping. You know, I can probably ship to Canada just fine because it's right here along the U.S. border, and I can probably ship to Mexico just fine. But anywhere else might be a hassle and extremely expensive. But if you're interested, please let me know. You know, you can comment below, or you can email me, gardenioglass@gmail. Whatever you know, just comment below and let me know. Give me a heads up, and we can start communication there. Alright, so now I'm going to fuse this cobalt blue here to the back side, make it look like the jellyfish is in water. We're simply just going to put a thin layer of cobalt on the back side of the pendant here, and then the the jellyfish will look like it's floating in water. Which, yeah, water looks clear, right? But in the ocean, it looks kind of blue. So adding the cobalt blue, it really makes these pop. And they are one of my biggest and top sellers. And I should probably ask more for them, being that I'm one of the only artists in the world who makes them this detailed and this small. And I also make jellyfish marbles. I don't know if you guys have seen the marbles. These are all like 15, 16 millimeter marbles. 16 and a half at the biggest. They can't be any bigger than that, or they don't fit in the marble racer. Or maybe 17 mil is the biggest that can fit in the Boro Marble League racetrack. The wooden racetrack that we raced on recently, and I won second place. Pretty cool. I need to bring that trophy back in here. It's in my living room. I was showing my friend the other day. I was showing him the cool mini track that I won. That mini track is so awesome. I can show you guys in a minute. Alright, so now we're just going to melt this down. And, oh yeah, and yeah, so I sold out on all the jellyfish, but technically I didn't sell them. I basically fronted them. And so when they get sold, then they'll bring me half of what's made, basically. You know, they'll make exactly what I make, and they don't even have to sit here and make them. They just got to put the time, energy, effort into distributing them and selling them, which is as simple as just putting them up next to everything else that they already sell. You know, so they're already setting up, vending and selling stuff, so it's real simple for them. Others, however, who have never vended, have never done any sort of market, craft shows, arts and craft shows, art fairs, any sort of markets like that, local markets, growers markets. If you're interested and you want to get into that kind of stuff, you know, maybe what I'll do is I'll make a video on how that works. You know, that's actually probably a really good thing to share. I didn't even think about that till now. I should probably make a list of all these videos that I should do on different things in this experience with glass. Because not only do I blow glass, right, but I have to sell the glass. I have to market the glass. So I can do so many things, like, how do you do this? How do you do that? You know, how do I make promos? How do I make a sideways sell? How do I do a product launch formula? Using product launch formula, and how do I do a product launch? How do I do branding and all these different things? You know, all that stuff is super important, and it's part of the Glassman's world. And so, you know, it's all a part of what I do. Share everything that has to do with my world here, right? All right, so now we got that all molten, and then we get it all flat on the back, and then I smash it like that. So the front stays round because I kept the back molten but not the front. So now when you look at it, it's all big and wide, and you can see that jelly in there. I don't know if you can see the tentacles yet. Maybe when it cools down they'll look a little more detailed. And just a little bit of blue, so you can see there's a little tiny bit of blue on the back, all clear, and that's what makes it look like it's just in all blue. So now, after flattening it on the pad, it gets those heat rings. I don't know if you can see the heat rings or not, but yeah, the heat rings, they're like little ridges from the heat when you flatten it down on the surface. kind of like ripples in water. So that heat creates some sort of a vibration or something within that touch, that connection between the carbon, uh, the carbon graphite and the glass. All right. Then we need a punchy, and a punchy is just a scrap piece of glass, clean on the end here. This is just a piece of tubing that I gathered up all of the glass into like a thick, thick knob on the end here. So that way I have something to use and work with. I'll just connect that nice and straight, and then we'll go directly up top here, and we'll see if that punchy works. It feels like, okay, there we go. Felt wobbly. I thought we were going to lose it. Alright, so now we'll get this all molten. We're going to get the blue molten, but not the jellyfish at all. And we're going to pull some of that cobalt blue up in the backside with the loop. So we're going to form the loop right now. We, meaning me and my hands. You guys are just watching. So funny how we always say we. We're going to do this and we're going to do that. It's like, no, you mean me. I'm going to have to do this and do that. Okay, so keep that straight on the back. So I got to be careful not to twist at this point. And then you pull it, looking at what you're pulling, watching it. And then once it gets to a nice stretch, we'll pull it back forward or push it back forward. We'll make sure that blue stays all the way underneath as we make a connection. There's a little bit of blue still on this clear. I don't need that or want it on there anymore. So I'm going to get rid of it while this glass is still molten. It's a lot easier to just get rid of the scrap glass as it's molten than go back later and have to heat it up and wait for it to get molten again. Just get rid of it. Go in here, clean up the punchy, or clean up the loop. Then we'll take it off the punchy and we'll clean up the punchy mark. I was getting ahead of myself in steps there. Like, wait, we gotta do this first. So we clean that up. I always like to flatten the that rod that's part of the loop there. I like to flatten it up against the body and make sure that it all becomes one. It's all fused together. So that way when you're wearing it, it stays flat. These are known as flat back pendants. And the flat back pendants are, hey, what's going on, Wesley? You made it. And so the flat back pendants, these are very comfortable when you're wearing them against your chest. They, if you give someone a hug and you're wearing like a rounded glass pendant, you can feel that like right on your rib, that main bone, your chest bone, that goes over your heart in the center. I don't know if you guys heard, like the heart's now in the center. It used to be on the left side of our chest, right? The Mandela effect says that it's now in the center and not to the left. But I remember back in the day, special effects and movies, they would always get shot in the left of their chest, right? Like, oh, you got me in my heart right there. And we always do heart-to-heart hugs, right? On the left side, right? But now the heart's in the center somehow. I don't know anything about that. But yeah, this is how I make... I don't know anything about that. That's funny. I know all kinds of stuff about the Mandela effect. But I don't know anything about how it's being done. Some crazy stuff. So now I grab it here. We're going to snap it off the punchy just like that. We're going to clean it up. And then you're going to see a really cool effect here, like a sunset in glass. I'm going to clean up that punchy mark, and we're going to get this, that backside is going to get really, really kind of hot and glowy, especially that bottom. And I'm going to basically make like a sunset in glass. Check it out. Yeah, so yeah, it definitely is neat seeing it being done, right? It's a cool job. This is, I guess you can call it a job. So I was born in Cali, California, Southern California, LA County, in a city called Pomona. I was actually set up out there in 1999, right before Y2K. I got to drop this in the kiln, but that's the finished one. I'm gonna make more. Excuse me. I'm always congested. I think I smoked too much flour. So I prefer to do dabs a lot these days. So yeah, my job. I guess you call it a job, right? I'm not jobless, that's for sure. So these, I make them, I started blowing glass in 1995. Since I know you're a new viewer, you know, I can tell you all kinds of new stuff and things that I've already talked about. But yeah, so I started in 95. I've been blowing glass for like 28 years. It'll be 29 this summer coming up. So I started in the summer. I don't know if it was June or July, but it was in the summer, I believe. Maybe it was even a little before. I don't really remember 100%. I think it was in the summer, and then it took me a little bit of time to get into it throughout that following the fall and the winter. And I remember I was working first I was working at a place called Party City where I was just stocking inventory for a Halloween. It was during the Halloween season, so we were doing like Halloween costumes, but they did all kinds of party supplies, you know, all your colorful plates to match your paper plates and your paper cups and all your plasticware. And if you have a wedding or you got a birthday or you got a baptismal or you got a bar mitzvah or you got a bridal shower, like there's so many things that we stocked for over there. It was really fun. All the old fogies, you know, they have the over the hill stuff and all that. Yeah, so you know about that, Party City. I don't know if they're around the world or what, but I work with them, right? And then the owner, not the manager or anything, but the actual owner, he was in several times during the Halloween season, and I guess he saw my work. He liked my work ethic. He approached me while I was working one day. He's like, "Hey, how about you come and work for me? I need a new delivery driver at a jewelry shop." I was like, "Okay." He's like, "I'll pay you more than what they're paying you here." Like, okay. He told me he was the owner. You know, he told me who he was. Oh, hold on. Oh no, I'm getting ahead of myself here. I'm here. Screw it. I'm gonna make the drop of water. So this is what I'm known for, real quick. I'll continue that story in a minute. So the drop of water, you can find the Facebook page, facebook.com/ the drop of water. You gotta always put the drop of water. Um, I've gifted out 3,818 of these so far to water protectors from all over the world, starting from Standing Rock. Well, actually starting here in Albuquerque, right up the street at the Tingley Coliseum, Gathering of Nations Powwow 2017. In 2016, I was asked to be a part of a benefit art auction. And a friend of mine at the time, we're no longer friends because of COVID. That split up, divided so many people, right? Jab, no jab. And so, right, it's now instead of BC and AD, we're now before COVID and after COVID. We're BC and AC now. But so yeah, so a friend of mine at the time, he invited me to be an artist to have a glass put in a silent auction so they could raise funds for Standing Rock. Standing Rock was a protest, as we were watching in Germany or wherever that was, where they're having a protest against World Economic Forum and all the different things going on with the farmers and farmers' rights and farms getting taken and through eminent domain and all this crazy stuff going on in the world that we're living in, this new world order that we're living in, with the new orders that we're supposed to follow and all these mandates and rules and all this stuff, and the World Economic Forum positioning themselves to become the new world governance, our new world leaders, WEF, with the WHO right there hand in hand with them, the UN right there hand in hand, everyone all helping. Beautiful, beautiful new world with new orders that we're living in right now. And so, God, I just got myself all distracted with that. So, ever since Standing Rock occurred, which is a protest against water, you know, they're doing this protest in Germany. So the protest, not against water, the protest against a pipeline called the Dakota Access Pipeline, or DAPL. And so we always say no DAPL, right? No DAPL. So the Dakota Access Pipeline, it wasn't about not wanting oil. You know, there's a lot of Native Americans who drive trucks and use oil, right? A lot of them have jobs working there, helping our governors or our federal governments and our local governors and local officials and people allowing fracking to occur in the states and all this stuff, right? So this is the drop of water right here. I've gifted out 3,818 of these so far ever since Gathering of Nations. And so Standing Rock, what they were doing was they were fighting or protesting against the Dakota Access Pipeline, rerouting the pipeline. So they already had an oil pipeline that went around Standing Rock, or where the Osheti-Sakoan tribe is, right? And they had a pipeline that went around it. And they decided, hey, we're going to build a new pipeline, and instead of going around it, let's just divert right through it. We'll cut costs, we'll you know, make it quicker, you know, a straight line instead of going around it and following treaties and things like that, right? And so, and we're going to get back to making this jellyfish. I got to make the tentacles now. So I don't know if you saw the whole process. It's pretty simple and quick. But talking, I make it takes longer. So they were rerouting it through their land, but not only just through their land. It was through their sacred burial land, and also through the water. And it wasn't just their water, but all the water. You know, like the way that they destroyed the Anemus River here, desecrated it with the uranium mining. Well, Dakota Access Pipeline wanted to reroute it through their sacred burial grounds. And they brought in these private security, the BlackRock and people brought in like these Tiger Swan security and all this stuff that occurred. And we're holding the people back from them stopping the bulldozers from scraping the burial grounds. Sad, horrific. Children walked all the way from North Dakota, way up there in the north, all the way to Washington, D.C., to ask Obama for help. At the time it was Obama, to ask him for help to stop this madness that's going through the sacred burial lands of our ancestors, is what they were saying. And Obama, he talked about trying to help him a little bit, but he was about to leave office, so he then left it up for Trump. Now Trump, he didn't do anything about it. He's all about the oil and the pipelines. He didn't care whether it was being routed here, routed there, whatever. He just wanted to make sure that all the stockholders made their money, right? You got to make profits. You got to make the profits. You got to create that, right, the margin or whatever it is, right? You got to be able to If you put in this much, you got to be able to make this much, right? If you got to be able to take this much out of the earth in order to make this much in profits, right? So, sorry, I had a little tiny issue right there. I'm adding a little white, the translucent white or the moonstone on top of the tentacles that we just drew. And we're going to add a little red to that, to the tip, to allow that, the jellyfish head or the bell to have a little red rim on the, on just the edge of the bell or the dome of the jelly. So now that's all ready to go. There's a little jellyfish right there that we're going to give birth to in just a second. So yeah, so they, you know, the children went up there, they asked, they begged, they pleaded for help. Okay, so you have some buddies working up there in the gas field. So then you know how when Biden came in on that very first day, or the second day, he shut down the Keystone XL, the KXL pipeline, and like 60,000 oil workers lost their jobs, right? And that wasn't supposed to be the plan. The plan was create the infrastructure of what was going to be able to, we need to have battery storage capacity in order to store all, like we can make as many solar panels as we want all day, all the time. But if we don't have the battery storage capacity or figure out how we can store this energy in through like geothermal energy in the earth or different things like that, then, you know, basically it's just all it's all game. It's all fake. This whole global warming thing, it's all a marketing campaign. You know, it's a sleight of hand trick. It's called create a problem and be the solution. So yeah, so as your friends were up there working on the pipelines, there were many of my friends up there who were fighting against the pipelines in Standing Rock. And then they had this huge, basically it was like a war. They had the military up there against the protesters. They were shooting them with rubber bullets that they had put in the snow to make sure that they were hard so they weren't rubber anymore. You know, they were bullets at that point. They were like plastic bullets, basically. Still bullets, though. And so, you know, they were shooting individuals with these, spraying them with unpotable water, sewage water in the middle of the cold, in the middle of winter, right on Thanksgiving, being thankful, being grateful for everything, right, that the natives did for this country before everyone else came in and desecrated it, right? And so now we're in this whole mess now where we're raping the earth, we're taking all this stuff. The World Economic Forum is telling us what we can and can't do, and now farmers are pissed off, and it's like all connected. All of it's connected, right? Standing Rock was a practice ground for them to shut down protesters. It was one of the largest protests that had ever happened here on U.S. soil, and the media had a blackout. The only way anyone heard about it was through like the drone media, like Drones to Be Wild, or digital smoke signals. I don't know any others really. There's a couple others. Drones to Be Wild and digital smoke signals definitely put that info out. Rebel News, I think, Native Media Network. There were some individuals that were getting that information out, but other than that, it was a media blackout. They didn't want anyone to know about it. They already had too much support of people going up there that if the media let people know about it, oh my God. You know, it would have been like a millions up there every day. But, you know, I met some of the kitchen staff up there, and they said at one weekend when they had all of the Army and military vets going up there in support to help them in November. I think it was around November 23rd when they had the whole standoff on the bridge there. One of the coldest days, one of the most brutalist days up there. When the vets went up there, sorry, I'm pushing this in. You know, that's when it kind of got out a little bit, and that individual told me that they had served 20,000 meals in just in like that was their breakfast, their lunch, their dinner was 20,000. So they had at least 20,000 people up there that they fed. There were all kinds of other people that fed themselves. Now there were a lot of people that were weekend warriors, and they went up there back and forth and stuff like that. And they weren't there the whole time. And then there were people like me who couldn't get up there at all. And we became known as the keyboard warriors, where we would just share the information out to try to help get it out there because there was a media blackout, which is what we're doing now with all of the tractors and the protests out there. But you got to remember, so as we're over there fighting against the oil pipelines, right? Then Biden comes in and says, okay, let's strip the oil, and bam. Now we're like getting cut. Now we're going to have like oil shortages, fuel shortages. We didn't set up the infrastructure first. So you got to be very careful on what you wish for, right? Like right now, all these farmers, they're shutting everything down, right? They're all full of fuel right now. So they're using up all this fuel. And I heard that there's an incoming diesel shortage. So is this going to help with the diesel shortage? I know this is helping with making sure that the world's people starve, and then the World Economic Forum can then have the World Health Organization come in, the WHO come in, and deem certain places as unfit, unsafe to live, and they can take them over through eminent domain. They can get people to move. They can tell you, oh, this city is now no longer habitable. We've seen what's happened in Detroit, what's happening now with Seattle, all these different things going on where different places are getting shut down. And very soon, they're going to come in through eminent domain. And also, there's also places like Lahaina, Maui getting burnt. So just mysteriously burnt entirely out of nowhere, right? Remember the fires in Boulder? And what about Paradise City, California? And then what happened to East Palestine, Ohio? We just had the 1-year anniversary, February 3rd. That just happened this last weekend, where we're talking about 1-year anniversary of that. Still, there's no solutions for any of those individuals. Apparently, they did make that place toxic, and people are sick right now. And so, we got to be very careful on how we do these things, because right now the farmers have shut down the farms by not farming. So the food supply, the food chain, he who controls the food supply controls the world. The World Economic Forum wants this. There's a reason why this is happening, guys. They're about to shut down everything through the food chain, the food command, through the water. They just put water as a tradable commodity. So now you can buy stock, water stock on the New York Stock Exchange or wherever you do your stock buying, and or trading or whatever. Because I know there's other different world trades and stuff like that, right? It's not just here, the New York Stock Exchange. And so, yeah, you got to pay attention to everything and how it's all connected. I got to figure out which side I want to make the back side real quick. All right, so the jellyfish is now in there. The air bubble is out of there. And we're now flattening it so we can add the blue to the back. All right, it has slowed down up there now. I got job offers from time to time to go up there in the Badlands. I don't really want to go there if I don't have to. It's cold. Yeah, the Badlands. Oh, yeah, man. That's some brutal stuff. Yeah, but I bet you the money's good, right? How much? Like at least at least $500 a day? I've talked to a few oil workers, People who work on the rigs and stuff, they make good money. They're like, yeah, man, it was like $10,000 in a week. Like, wait, what? Like, damn, dude. Like, wow. You know, some people live off of 10 to 20 grand a year. You do that for a week or two, you're set. Right? Yeah, see? Yeah, so think of all the big trucks and oil that runs on diesel, right? And Tesla, he's trying to do all the smart trucks and all that, but you saw what happened with all the electric vehicles sitting in the cold, right? You can't have that. You gotta have diesel. Like, I'm a water protector, right? And I'm all about no DAPL, right? No Dakota Access Pipeline. I'm all about divesting from banks. But I'm also a realist, and I understand that you can't just shut it down. We are like, okay, it'd be like, all right, we're doing 3 meals a day, every day, every day. Okay, now we're just gonna fast. All right, let's just fast. Like, wait, whoa, 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 can't do that. My wife can't fast. Like, I can be like, all right, let's fast. Let's do a 3-day fast. Let's just do nothing but water, honey, and cayenne pepper. Bam, just like that. Let's do that for 3 days straight. Cleanse the body, cleanse the mind, purify the soul. Get yourself in a way, you know. My wife couldn't do that. She can't even get past go past noon without breakfast. You know. So yeah, you can't just take away the oil from the whole entire system, right? And that's the thing, is this whole entire global warming crap, it's a farce, man. Yeah, we're going to have all this ice melting. It's going to continue to melt, but then it's going to continue to freeze. It's going to continue to melt. It's going to continue to freeze. The earth is going to go through these stages of defrost and then refreezing and defrost and refreezing. But also, we cannot deny everything that they spray up in the sky every day all over the world, and all of the aluminum dioxide that they're claiming. See, they said this in the news here, so this is not me making crap up. Here in New Mexico, we have the largest fire in the U.S. history, called it's either the Hermit or the Hemet. I don't know if it's Hermit's Peak or the Hemet's Peak fire, right? Around $40 or so per hour. 2 years ago, I was down in Greensboro, North Carolina, working for Toyota. Hey, we were building the mega site for the electric cars. Yeah, so the electric cars is a big thing. And right now, what it is it's a big investment. You can make a lot of money in stock with the EVs. Now, would you get yourself stuck in the cold? Would you only have an electric vehicle if you lived up there in like in the Badlands, in Montana, in Wyoming, in North Dakota, in Michigan, in New York, in Maine, in Washington, in Oregon? Would you rely on just an electric vehicle? Would you just rely on an electric Toyota? I mean, we all saw what happened in the news this last year, where they were just sitting ducks, right? And check it out. They're all going to charging stations, right? They don't have their own charging stations yet. They haven't even like figured out how they can just go and purchase all of these lithium-ion batteries and then set them up in a circuit, in a series, in order to create their own Tesla wall. You know, you can watch that. Like, there's so many different channels on YouTube here that share that information out. It's like a free, what do you call it? Open source information right here, YouTube. That's the one thing I love about it. You know, I am not monetized. That's the one thing that I also love, is I'm not monetized, so I don't really censor myself too much. I'm not worried about getting hit here and there too much, you know? I mean, eventually, maybe if I say the wrong things, they'll just like shut down my channel entirely, and that would suck. There's a lot of time and energy invested, but at the same time, I'm not materialistic, and I am a very non-attached to things. So if they want to take my channel, then they can take it, and I just start another one. I already had the Glassman TV years ago, and I don't even know what happened to it. I don't even care. That's like when I was a baby, right? Like, that's no longer a part of me. It was my history and my timeline, but I'm no longer that baby body. I'm no longer that baby mind. I'm no longer that baby, you know? So I've evolved. And sometimes you got to remove yourself from attachments in order to evolve, especially the soul. If you can actually transcend the soul from attachment and liberate one's soul from the Maya, from the illusion, then all of this is just, it don't even matter, you know? And then you just keep it all sacred and keep it all real. And know that it's all God. All things are God. Because everything is created from the atom. All matter, all water, all ether, all thoughts as well. It's all God. It's all held together by the Higgs boson particle, the God particle. It's all God. I love how I'm like one of the few who bridge the whole connection with God with the connection of biology. With life itself, with creation itself, the way the cells, the way they do this, the tree of life, the seed of life, the flower of life. There may be some advantages and disadvantages of owning electric cars. Yeah, there's some advantages and disadvantages of being a carnivore. There's some advantages and disadvantages of being a vegan. There's some advantages and disadvantages of being alive. There's some advantages and disadvantages of being dead. It's like, yeah, definitely. There's yin and yang in all things, right? Yin and yang in all things. The ebb and flow. That's all it is. Is it positive or is it negative? If we can get into the whole discussion of just talking about energy, frequency, and vibration, does that give off a good vibration, a good frequency, a good energy? Now, I think the whole global warming thing is a farce, and I do believe that if we burn oil, where does that go? Well, it just goes right back to the earth where it came from, eventually. Yes, we may breathe in toxic fumes, yes. It may be harmful to humans, yes. But there is a natural cycle, the ebb and flow of life, where all of that carbon, whether it's burnt, whether it's kept solid, whatever matter that it stayed in, it's still the matter of God. It's still that creation, that atom, that goes right back to the earth, right? Ashes to ashes, dust to dust. And then it gets whatever, extracted, formed into something new, whatever it is. As it is, so shall it be. So yeah, when you burn off all that stuff, like, I think the whole pollution thing is a farce. And if they're really like concerned about it, then they should be going after the biggest corporations and not us little individuals, or going after the sacred cows, right? Oh, the sacred cows are farting. Oh no, they're creating too much carbon. Doesn't life come from carbon matter? Isn't all life carbon? These motherfuckers are lying, misleading everyone. I've got a song called Time Bomb, which I claim I didn't write any of my songs. They all come through me. I'm a channel, I'm a medium. So this message comes from God, right? So God wrote my songs, right? I didn't write them. But I was wise enough to hit the record button so I could capture it, so I could go back and relearn it, so I could remember it, so I could memorize it, so I could recite it, so I could perform it. So I have a song called Time Bomb. It's on my playlist, I believe, and if not, I'm going to remake that soon. And every Monday, I'm supposed to do Music Mondays, but every other week, I have my daughter, and I really don't like to take away my time spending with her and be focused on YouTube and other things. Like, I sometimes don't even get on the torch when she's here. When she's in school, then I do, but when she's here, like, I'm just making sure that I spend all the time I can because I only get her every other week. And that's the beauty of blowing glass, of having this job. Oh, what's up, Filipino? What's up, brother? How you been, Phil? So I'm just shooting the shit, talking with Wesley over here, and we were talking about pipelines and the drop of water, and I didn't even ask, have you ever seen glass blowing live? I don't know. You said that this is so neat to watch being done, but I don't even know. Have you ever even seen this? Am I the first person you've ever watched blow glass? Because I make this shit look easy. I've been doing it for 28 years, so I can sit here and talk. I can chit chat. I've been doing live demos in front of the public, like out in public, since like 97. I think was like probably one of my first live demos, and I got used to having like crowds of people around. Never. Awesome. So this is pretty advanced right here. That the water drop that I made, which is just a simple clear teardrop shaped pendant that I made in like a couple minutes. That water drop I sell for only $10. I do 3 for 20, so I can continue to afford to gift out the 3,818 and however many more are going to continue to be gifted until I'm no longer on this planet or I'm no longer capable of blowing glass. You know, if I succumb to some sort of unfortunate accident, which, you know, I've been blessed with this gift by God. As long as I am being responsible with this gift, I do believe that God won't strip me from it, or strip it from me. Strip me from it, actually. I said that, right? And so yeah, just keep my glass blessed and everything. Always stay within the truth and the light, you know. That's all I can do. At least my truth that I feel in my heart. Thank you. Impressive skills. So yeah, you know, been making these jellyfish. I started trying to make these around the year 2000. And, you know, the first ones, I was adding way too many lines of color to create a bunch of stringers of tentacles. And then, you know, it just looked like a mop. Or something like that. You know, it did not look like a jellyfish. And, you know, there's something divine in the whole saying that less is more. And it took me until 2008 to finally figure that out. Now, I didn't sit there like all the time, like, oh my gosh, I got to make a jellyfish again. Oh my gosh, we got to try this again. Like, I was just having fun. Like, let me see if I can make a jellyfish. You know, I've seen some soft glass workers making these really large ones, you know, like 2 foot tall, 3 foot tall that are from the galleries, you know, they're like $6,000, $10,000, whatever they cost. You know, only like a handful of people in this world can even afford them, and they probably own them all. Just kidding. And so I was like, yeah, let me see if I can figure out how to make a jellyfish pendant. I've never seen a jellyfish pendant at that time. I had never seen one. I'd only seen mushrooms, and I was like, well, we can make mushroom pendants. Why can't I make a jellyfish that small? So I just worked on it for a while here and there. You know, every few months I'd be like, oh, let me try that again. Try it out. Still be a little too busy, a little too much. Finally, I was like, let me see if I just do this. And I just finally put one tentacle in the center instead of a whole bunch, and then just added a few going around it and not layer upon layer upon layer upon layer. And I just did the one center with the one layer, and lo and behold, that made them look so realistic and real that people are like, they asked me, like I said earlier in the video. I don't know if you heard that or you were here yet, but they ask me all the time, are those real baby jellyfish? I'm like, no, no, like I wouldn't harm a living thing like that. No. Like I try to be a vegetarian. I'm a wannabe vegetarian. So, I try my best not to eat as much meat as possible. I'm trying my best to convert my whole family, my wife and our 4-year-old. He is such a foodie. Oh my gosh. All right, let me show you this one again real quick. Just got to clean up the punchy. Oh, you have come a long way since back in '98. Right? See, we've known each other for a long time, man. Family, right? Goes a long way. You know, you know about Dr. Blue, right? And his passing recently. I've been over there at his house working. I'm actually going to be there tomorrow. One of the last times to help. We've been going through all of his things, and we're donating his books. Anyone is welcome to come and get books if you want to come by and meet me. Yeah, so bowls and glasses. You mean like eating utensils, like cereal bowls and drinkware? That's a lot larger. I have made stemware, but they're expensive. That's the stuff you'd want to put in a case, on a display case or a mantle, you know? And yeah, isn't that beautiful? And it's pretty large, I'd say it's a inch and a half, easy, almost 2 inches. So, $20 in person all day, $30 online plus shipping. 35 bucks, and I can ship one to you. Yeah, so I'll be there tomorrow. If you want to hit me up, I'll be there between like 10 to 3 is the usual time. And his partner Barbara picks me up in the morning around 9:30 usually, and then we get over there. So depending on, if we're on time and everything, you're welcome to come by tomorrow. It's the last time to get books and CDs. Oh my God. And a bunch of CDs and a bunch of like Blu-ray movies and DVDs. So, okay, yeah. Orale. Right on. So, let's make some more. I just want to have a few of these red jellyfish so I can give my friend's mom, and my friend, she's like my mom basically, and give her a few options on these. They look more like the Man-O-War jellyfish than the blue ones. I've got it. I have a couple over here. Yeah, see? There's one right there. This one's actually one with the red in it. And this one's already cooled down. I made this a couple days ago. So you can see it in my palm. It's basically like two fingers, 2.5 maybe. And I got smaller hands for a dude. But yeah, 2 fingers. All right, let's make this jelly here. Yeah, I'm only 5'7", so I'm not big or nothing. Thank you. So yeah, 35 bucks. I could get that shipped to you. Any of these, if you want one that you saw live, I will probably post them on the community board. I'm thinking what I'm gonna do is every time that I make stuff like this and I'm live, that I'm just gonna post it on the community board, or community post on YouTube. Whoa, that was weird. I need to clean these glasses. I can like barely see. I almost missed the whole thing. Okay, I think I got them all around there. And then we just add that translucent white or that moonstone. I like to call it moonstone because that's what it kind of looks like to me. But it's like a really beautiful translucent white. It really makes a beautiful jellyfish just all by itself. Just this alone. It makes like for those like we have an aquarium here where they have a tank with the little tiny baby jellies, and they have like they're all under a UV light, black light, and they glow, and that's kind of what these would do. Now I used to have access to glow glass, to these boro rods that were made out of uranium, I guess. I didn't even realize that when I was working them. Like, oh, damn. Been working uranium glass not knowing it. Like, not willingly knowing it. You know, I'm like, do I ever want to work the boro rods ever again? Is that why my teeth have been falling out for the last few years? Like, fuck, man, I know I'm getting old, but come on. But yeah, so, you know, there is dangers in all things, right? And beauty in all things. The beautiful thing that I do here frees me up all kinds of time for my family. You know, I can raise my family on my art form. I've always been an artist. That's the thing. I've been a painter, a drawer, a jeweler. You know, I found out I've actually been a jeweler like my whole life. When I was a little child, I remember I learned how to make them Frenchlet bracelets. You know, those ones with the strings. Long time ago. And we would, you know, you'd get like 6 different color strings. You'd tie them in a knot all the way across. You could put names in them and stuff like that. So yeah, so, you know, when I was a kid, I was making those. And then I even remember, way before that, I used to make them little tiny keychains with the little plastic flat little strips where you would have like 4 of them and somehow you'd crisscross them and they'd somehow, you know, you'd weave them over each other. You'd do like a crisscross pattern over, and then one would go through. Can you make necklaces and earrings from these? Yeah, so that's for a necklace. That's a pendant. That's definitely a necklace. You can hang it anywhere though. You know, if you want to hang it in your window, on your car, you know, your rear view mirror. Just be careful. If you hit them brakes, that glass could crack your windshield. It's borosilicate glass. It's strong. Boron and silica creates borosilicate glass. It's the most heat temperate glass there is. It's people mostly know Pyrex cookware, which has become Corning cookware, and it's no longer really Pyrex. Pyrex is out of the game. The old Pyrex is the real and the good Pyrex, and the new Pyrex is the crap that will actually crack and shatter and mess up your food. So yeah, and I have made smaller jellyfish. I've made marbles. These are all jellyfish marbles in here. And I sell these at $20 each. And I can probably do a deal. You know, there's 5 of them here. That's $100. And probably throw in like an extra one for free maybe. So maybe like $120 for a whole tube of marbles there. They're all 15 mil, 16 mil marbles. Yeah, I make all kinds of stuff. I make smoking accessories as well. I do what I do actually is I'm a glass blower, but I actually use raws all the time. I buy my raws in the 300s because that's all I do. I just roll them up. But I also use a glass crutch. And a glass crutch, see, this has got paper on it from earlier, from when we were watching Crux TV or whatever that was. Let me peel off the paper here. So underneath, let me clean that off. So underneath is a little tube, open more on one side, closed up a little on the other. Doesn't allow any of the herbs to go through. And so I have a glass crutch that I use. So I do smoking accessories, but I don't make a lot of them because There are, at one point, there were like at least 200 other glass blowers in my area, in Albuquerque, and the surrounding area, Santa Fe, up in Taos, behind the mountains, in east of mountains, in Moriarty, in Edgewood, down in Socorro, down in Belen, down in Las Cruces, in Rio Rancho, like all over the place around Albuquerque, like at least 200 glass blowers. So our market got so saturated that basically all the glass blowers became cutthroat, and our $20 wholesale prices became $5. You know, like, well, maybe not that drastic, but pretty much, like pretty close. You know, so everyone was only making $5 a piece on the smoking accessories for wholesale. I'm like, screw that. I'm just gonna make my own stuff. I can make test tubes. A test tube is basically just a tube that's measured at a specific length. You know, this is borosilicate glass. This is the type of glass that can be heated up and stuff. Now, to make beakers and large pieces, you know, like this is a beaker right here, but this is done on a lathe. You know, that's a beaker, but I didn't make that. That's done on a lathe. A lot of those bigger pieces are done on a lathe. They don't really make those by hand, unless you're like some like. Go check out. I have a playlist called Glass Blowing History Lessons and More. I got a ton of playlists. This is the Glass Man's world. So welcome to my world. You can spend a million years here. I got a ton of playlists, man. I have so many playlists. But yeah, there's one called Glass Blowing History, Demos, and More. And on that playlist, there's a I don't want to say Chinese, but I think he's a Chinese glass blower. Amazing artist, freaking a. What he does, putting the pieces together, he creates the coils. The glass he creates. They're called condenser tubes, and he creates a coil by wrapping it around a rod, something similar to like this here, but bigger, right? And he wraps his tubing, so it's not even solid glass, so you can't collapse the tube on itself, right? He wraps the tubing just precisely around it, all nice, right? Like it's easy. Oh my gosh, watching him do this. And then he takes that and he makes another one, and he makes another one, and then he somehow pieces them perfectly together. Bink! And he makes his whole bigger tube that's like 2 foot long or whatever. Oh my gosh. Some glass gets turned on a lathe. The really large tubes gets turned on a lathe. I don't remember if he does one on a lathe. Some people have rollers though, bench top rollers. You know, like I've always thought, I'm a skateboarder, old school skater, and I always thought it'd be cool to make one out of trucks, out of some skateboard trucks with just bearings, not with the wheels because you don't want it to get hot. But maybe the wheels would be cool because you don't actually put the hot part on the roller. The hot part stays out here by the torch. Ooh, you own a wood lathe. The only difference of the lathes is the chuck needs to have it needs to be open so you can have a blow tube. So then you can set up this it's a tube with an elbow on it, and it just basically is just like um I think it's like just a silicone grommet on there that fits right into the glass, right? And it's got a tube that comes off of here with another, like a blow tube, just a real simple, like almost like an aquarium tube. And then that goes to the mouth of the glass blower. I've never worked a blow tube, or maybe I've tried it once and I didn't really like it. I prefer to just do it offhand like I do here on the torch and everything. All right. Okay. Did we build one already? We got everything set. We got it. Okay. I'm talking over here. I'm losing track of what I'm doing. All right. We'll make this one last jelly here. And yeah, I'll keep on working. Since we're just doing this for fun, maybe I'll make a couple other things. Because I'm really sold out on a lot of stuff. I let a lot of my inventory go last week to my friends. I don't know if they sold it all or not yet, but it's not much. You know, it's like 5 jellyfish. So like $100 in jellyfish, and then which at wholesale, you know, I wholesale them for $10, but you got to get 10 of them at a time. But these are my good friends, so you know, I let them go with just 5 of them. How do you move the head and tail stalk of the wood lathe? See, I don't know. A glass lathe is different from a wood lathe, and I've never worked a lathe. That's asking me, like, you know, how do you farm rabbits? I don't know. But yeah, I really don't know how it truly works. I just know that it's got to be hollow somewhere at the end or something, and they put a blow tube on it. But yeah, there's a ton of videos on glass blowing on a lathe. So yeah, I have no idea how they do it, but it's cool to watch. I love watching people turn wood. I have a friend he does wood on a lathe, and it's freaking amazing. Like when you get the ones that are all knotty, like wow, you turning that? That's crazy. Or like those people who are like they doing some crazy stuff now, where they'll get like colored pencils, and then they'll glue them all together, and then they'll form that into like a bowl, and it's like all you see is like all the colors coming through, and then you know they always epoxy it or lacquer it somehow, and it's so beautiful. I love all the wood stuff with the resins, like making a river run through a table. That's freaking beautiful. And then I've seen some have real goldfish and real water running through that. I'm like, oh, that's on a whole different level there. All right, about to make another jellyfish, giving birth. Instead of out, we're pushing in. I always got to make sure I push it in just enough and not too much, because I don't want all those tentacles that I built up to get pushed underneath the bell of the jelly, because then they'll be hidden and you won't be able to see them. And then you'll just see one center one. It's like, well, what was the point of building all those around if you're just going to have the one centered tentacle? You might as well just do it with one, make it quicker and easier. I'll tell you something cool. Watch someone turn recycled skateboards on wood lathes. Oh, I've seen that. Oh yeah. Oh my gosh. I love that. Yeah. Now you're talking. So I'm an old school skater. I watch all kinds of crazy stuff like that. I'm into the mini fingerboards too. That's cool. If you can get some wood, um, what's that? Oh my gosh, the thin board. I'm thinking linoleum, but it's not linoleum. It's the veneer. So if you get some thin veneer, I'm gonna make me some mini skate decks soon. They're gonna be so cool. And I'm also gonna try to make some glass wheels just for fun. This is just to make glass wheels. They're not gonna work well. They're not gonna be like rubber. Oh, but we could put the rubber over it. Ooh, and then they'll have traction. That'll be kind of cool, actually. I don't know. I like to make the. Since you're all into all this kind of stuff, let me show you something that's really, really awesome. So the other day, my 4-year-old and I, you know, we watch a lot of YouTube stuff just to spend time and hang out watching cool things together, right? Monster trucks, uh, real monster trucks and the toy monster trucks, watching the kids play, doing the ramps, jumping through things, watching the Hot Wheel races, marble races. We were way into marble races. I won second place in my very first marble race that I entered recently. I have a live video on that, but the um, the signal went choppy. Once I walked inside the bowling lane, the bowling alley, it just went choppy. Like, dang it, I didn't even know. I should have jumped on their Wi-Fi. I didn't realize that. So that video is ruined, but you can still see some of it, some of the tracks. You can hear a lot of what's going on. You just can't see too much. It's all pixelated. But yeah, I won second place, and I won this really cool marble track to watch. After this jellyfish here, I'm going to show you the mini marble track that I won for winning second place. And ooh, I even have that shark piece that I got here, a little smoking accessory that I won. I can show you that one. And I'll show you a couple other little cool things. Because the marble track is a mini marble track. And to continue the story, me and my boy, we also love watching, oh gosh, did I just touch that? Did I burn it? Okay, we'll see. I might have a little mark on here somewhere. I might have accidentally touched that to my glasses on the table. But no, okay, cool. All right. So, yeah, we were watching the marbles the other day and stuff, and I make marbles. I showed you the jellyfish marbles. Those are regulated size between 15 to 17 millimeter to actually be racer marbles. And I actually do have my, this is the marble that won second place. I called it bowl burner. Oh, bowl burn. You know, like if you get the bowl too hot when you're smoking, you accidentally touch it with your finger, you get a bowl burn. But I spelt it like bowl, like bowling, because it's a bowling ball. Because we were in a bowling alley doing marble races. So I made mini bowling ball marbles. First time ever. So I've got some mini bowling balls available. The marbles are $20 each. And yeah, so that one won second place. I couldn't beat this other one that was all white with a red eye. It's called Red Eye. So I couldn't beat Red Eye in the races. So I want a rematch. I think he positions himself a lot better too. He was like always up in the top 3 positions, and I don't know why. I was either in 3 or 7 all the time. Because 37 is my number, so I just did that. So a marble racer definitely has to be like perfectly round, and you know, it can't be all weird and oblong shaped, and it's got to be a racer. It's got to be perfectly round so you can win. So yeah, there's some cool stuff. You might be able to see those videos. It was in what, January 3rd. But I post stuff like, I might post 2 or 3 videos in a day, and then I may not post anything for a few days. So I'm random. I have no schedule here. Sorta. I mean, I used to do Music Mondays, and then like I would do the Glass Cast, which is my own podcast. I kind of started. It's just me rambling like this. This could be a podcast, a Glass Cast right here. I can put this on the podcast, the Glass Cast episode. You can call it episode 15. But yeah, Marble Race was fun. You can see those videos. Oh yeah, and so the other day, sorry, after watching all these other things, me and my 4-year-old, we got into watching the little tiny kitchens. Have you guys seen that? The tiny kitchens, all the mini cooking channels on YouTube, where they got little tiny pans, little cups, little plates, little knives, all these little things in a little tiny kitchen. So they make a studio, they have a TV studio, a filming recording studio set up like for a dollhouse basically, like Barbie size, you know. And then they just cooking, and they got like real ovens that they can heat up with a little tea light candle and all this stuff. I'm like, huh, like, you know what, we should actually get something where you can make it with real fire. Like, screw this little tea light candle, just put it on an electric burner. So guess what, you know, Pyrex, they make cookware, right? The Glass Man, he uses Pyrex from time to time, Cymax, Stroke Glass from Germany. You know, I'm like, huh, the glass man can make some mini glass cookware, right? And different mini accessories. So years ago, I actually, just for fun, I made a bottle. I was gonna do a thing called message in a bottle, or tiny message in a bottle, and I was gonna sell necklaces, and it's still an idea that I'm gonna do. I just have so many things going on that eventually I'll make a lot of them for the masses. I've already made some, like they've already been created, but they haven't been marketed yet. And so I'll do this where we'll have different messages. I love you. I miss you. Will you marry me? Happy birthday. You're the greatest. You're so special. Like all those, you know, good raise the vibe kind of feeling sayings and stuff. And my wife, she already makes greeting cards, so we already in this business, right? We already have another business on the side called Gift and Card. It's, you know, gift cards. The gift and card. It's your one-stop shop where you can get all your gifts and all your cards, all your greeting cards in one place. It's not live yet. It will be, but I think you can find it at, what is it at? I think it's on my Square site. So I think it's like what, square.site / gift and card. And I think the and is the symbol, you know, where you use the what is it, the number 4? No, number 7. Number 7 on the keyboard. The and. So gift and card. I think the page is up. You could see some stuff there. But it's still a work in progress, and nothing is available to purchase from there yet. And it says nothing is available. I don't know why. Not available. I'm like, so I got to figure out some little glitches that I'm dealing with. So technically, yes, you can recycle glassware into something else. Yeah. I have broken glass here that I could then melt it down and do things. Now, some broken glass is dirty, full of resin because of certain things that were burnt through them, right? Cookware and other types of things. And so, yeah, like if it's clean glass, yes. The hard thing is, though, is do we know if it's borosilicate glass? That's the hard thing. You know, in paintings, you can tell if it's an oil painting or if it's an acrylic painting. But can you visually tell if that's soda lime glass, if that's lead-based glass, if that's soft glass made in the furnaces and the glory holes, a different type of glass that they make really large vases, bowls, all the drinking ware, all the pitchers, like all the Mexican glassware, Polish glass, German glass, all the drinking glass, all of that is soft glass. That is completely different from what we do. They work in furnaces and glory holes. We work on a torch known as the lamp. This is called lamp working, where that's known as offhand or furnace work glass, or studio glass. I guess sometimes I'll call it that. So this is lamp working or torch work. Technically, it's a form of glass blowing. It's a form of glass art, but technically it's not the same as the way that factories can bust out, you know, making 4 marbles a second, right? And they just make a bunch of cat's eye marbles, 4 of them per second, right? Whereas my marbles, they can take up to an hour to make. And then you try to compare, like, okay, well, these were done by a machine and it took this long, so these are worth like a penny or whatever, whereas yours, you know, depending on what you did, what you put into it, all the stuff, you know, could be worth a $20 jellyfish marble. It could be worth a $200 crazy coral reef fish scene looking like, I don't know, it could be all kinds of whatever. So yeah, all kinds of stuff. So yeah, there you can definitely recycle glass. You know, I've actually I keep all of my glass, and there is one thing though. I keep all my color glass scraps separated from my clear glass right here. So my clear glass scraps go here, but my color glass goes in there, and that way I can actually use the I can use the color glass frits, the little tiny chips and pieces for making things. You know, I can just stick a piece of molten clear glass into that jar and randomly pull out some color and turn it into a marble, twist it up, turn it into a pendant, leave it as is, you know, whatever. Like, yeah, I can do that as well. Now, the only drawback to that is being that it's an open can on my table, probably full of dust and dirt, you know, maybe some hair, some lint. So those impurities are going to get into the glass, and you will see some little air bubbles or air pockets from those types of things. Definitely. We've been able to repair glass. There's a lot of people who leave their smoking accessory on their lap, and tile floor, brick floor, those kind of things are extremely notorious for keeping me paid. That brings me a paycheck, so to speak. You know, you got to be careful. Even I, even I, leave the pieces on your lap when they're fully packed and ready to go. Ain't that funny? So yeah, this is what I do. Thank you so much, Wesley, for coming over here from the whatever we're watching. I forget the channel now. It's still up, I think. What was it? Vox? Not Vox. Well, I appreciate it. Thank you. All right, here's another one. Oh yeah, let's do that sunset in glass. I think I talked about the sunset in glass, but did we actually ever really watch it? So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna get it so hot to where it's gonna be super hot on the bottom, and then as it cools down, you're gonna see the heat just diminish downward this way, and then it's gonna look like a sunset right there. A sunset in glass by the Glass Man. Crux, thank you. CRUX, Crux channel, appreciate it. Sunset in glass by the Glass Man. I don't know if any other glass blowers have ever like noticed that or have ever showed that off, but I think it's pretty cool. Okay. Why did I put my pot holder way over here? That's either number 3 or number 4. I'm gonna take a quick little break here, a little 420 sesh, and I'm gonna show you this mini marble track. We'll see if I can. I don't know if I can do it. It's got to be on a flat surface. I'm scared to scared to try to hold it and do it, but check it out. This is a mini marble racetrack with little mini terp pearls for the marbles. So you can see how tiny this track is. It's a little mini marble racetrack that I won, and I entered this because this is what I wanted. I wanted this. I didn't care about any other prizes. Like they had all these rigs. Like you can get an oil rig, which is for smoking, right? Doing dabs. You could get a glass. You could get a wine glass. You could get all these cool accessories. I'm like, I'm a glass blower. I can make all this stuff. Like, why do I? Besides the fact that, yeah, I would have liked some other glass blowers art. Yes, because I love to have other glass blowers art. But this thing is made out of a 3D printer. I don't have a 3D printer. I can't make this. I can't do this. but I can win it. And it's so cool. It's so fun. Let me see if I can show you how it works. I'm gonna try to hold it. Let me try to be very careful with this. Hold on. Let me get this little pearl. This not pearl, but it's a little glass pill. That's for doing dabs. A little mini pill, glass pill. I've also made little red and blue pills, glass pills. You know, you want to take the red, you want to take the blue. But these are the mini terps, and I don't know if you can see the second one from my finger right there. That's one that I made out of the rainbow, out of this rainbow ribbon cane here. Beautiful ribbon cane. So check that out. So I made a mini tiny terp pearl right there. So we'll set it up. That's number 2. All right, that one's going in number 2. The first one is the candy cane. Then we got this pink one here. Another candy cane. Another candy cane. We got a blue one. And then we got this one that was actually used as a terp pearl. We'll call this one Mr. Smoky. And then we got the rainbow and the league. If you want to choose a racer right now, go on ahead and do so. And we'll get the races started. And we'll see if I can actually show who's the winner chicken dinner. So we're not even going to keep them in order like that. We're just going to let them drop. And then I'm going to be very careful with this because I'm going to hold this in my hand. We're going to set them up like that. And then we're going to give them a quick, here, let me make sure my finger isn't in the way. We'll hold it from the bottom. We're going to do this as best we can. Can I even get this whole thing in here? Hold on. Ah! Hey! No cheaters. I'm gonna set you guys in the back. Just kidding. I'm just gonna do that. Push them up. Okay. I'm going to move this over so it's not above the torch. Hey, I could be smarter than the torch, huh? All right, so now I have to catch all of these in the bottom here. Okay? That's how it works. Ready, set, go. Let's race. Marble race. So there we go. We're getting down. All right, we got the rainbow in the lead. One of them got held up. We got them all? We got them all. Okay, let's see if I can hold up the winner chicken dinner without spilling them. And that's the order right there. Did you win? Did you win? Did you choose a winner? The rainbow actually came in first, and I was pushing the back. I did not set that up, guys. I guess I have a good racer. It must be perfectly round compared to the others. I don't know. But we can also set these on my son's bigger racetrack, and we can really test them out to see which one really works. But this is the mini marble racer, right? So I can make mini marbles. And then years ago, I made these crazy things here. So let me get this off the table. Hopefully it's not on anything hot. So, since we were talking about all these cool things on the lathe and all this stuff, I'm like, let me show off some cool, fun stuff here. So, I made this for my daughter. This is a set that I made for her for Christmas 2 years ago. Alright, so I made her a nice, gotta be careful. Made her a nice vase, just clear, you know, something real simple, but with a beautiful little flower there. It's just a twisted cane, you know, nothing too fancy, just something simple, just for fun. She was playing in her dollhouses a lot. She's kind of outgrown that. But yeah, so I made that for her. I guess when she was about 8 or 9 years old. And then it was around Christmas time when I was making these for her. Or yeah, it was Christmas when I made these. And so then I also, you know, we're talking about Santa and hot cocoa and candy canes. And I decided to make some of the tiniest candy canes ever in the world. and little mugs. We can put a little hot cocoa in there, so we can have some hot cocoa with some peppermint. I don't know if you guys do that. And then I was like, hey, Santa's coming. We need to make him a plate so we can put some cookies on. I haven't made the cookies yet, but I'm gonna make some kind of like chocolate chip cookies or something like that. Yeah, and little mini roses like that. Perfect little Valentine's gift, right? A little, what, $8 to $10 for something like that. So yeah, so this is my daughter's collection. I keep this separated from mine. So that one was just a few years ago. Now, probably closer to like 8, 9 years ago, when I was doing the drop of water, probably like I'd guess about 2017. It was before 2018 because it was before I moved away to Camp Two Dogs, where I lived off grid for a while with a bunch of water protectors in Tres Piedras near Taos, New Mexico. So during that time, I was making that message in the bottle, right? So we were making these little tiny messages in a bottle, and I was like, cool, well, here's a little bottle. I was going to make them a little bit bigger on the, we definitely got to make the message bigger. You won't be able to read it or see it or anything like that. You won't be able to take it out. It's got to be able to come out of the bottle, and I'll put a little message in there so then you can pull it out and be able to read it and stuff. So then I was like, oh, that also looks like a wine bottle, right? So then I made these cute little wine glasses to go with it, right? So I was like, all right, cool. Let's have some wine, right? So we put some little, nowadays I'll have to use some grape juice and put some grape juice in there and pour ourselves some little wine. There's some for you, there's some for you. Bam. So then I made some wine, and then at the time I was a drinker, So it's got to be at least 8 years, because I have not drank in over 8 years. Just celebrated my 8-year sobriety this New Year's that just passed. But back in the day, I was a drinker, so I was all about it, right? So I was like, well, I drink beer, so we need some pint glasses, right? So cheers. Cheers, mates. Ding. So we got ourselves some little beer mugs right here, right? Some pints. I call them pints. These are the pints right there. And then I was like, well, shoot. I'm the glass man, right? The glass man makes smoking accessories. So I had to make myself a little tiny spoon pipe. And this is fully functional. Has a hole in the bowl, has a hole in the carb, has a hole in the mouthpiece. Fully functional, never used. Yeah, the possibilities are endless. And I don't know if you know, but this tiny world here on YouTube is freaking huge. Right? Okay, and then I'm like, well, the Glass Man, we're also known for the Sherlock. I used to make these really cool Gandalf Sherlocks that were these really, really like elongated, skinny Sherlocks. Really thin. You drop it once, it's gone. Money in my pocket. There you go. Don't drop it. But I wholesale them for $5. They were like $10 little, disposable pieces. But that's got a carb, got a hole in the bowl, hole in the mouthpiece, fully functional little Sherlock right there. And then I'm like, well, the Glass Man, he's known for making the pocket hookah, right? Making the pocket hookah. So I made this, and it doesn't have a hose on it that it's supposed to, but I will eventually get an electrical wire and pull the sleeve off of it and turn it into the hose. But for now, I have this cord on there, and this is the mini pocket hookah. So I used to be known for making these pocket hookahs that were about, yay big. They were hourglass shaped. They'd fit in your pocket, a little bit bigger than the width of my hand. I'd say maybe as long as my hand, about that length there. I don't know, 6 inches, something, 7. And so these pocket hookahs, you just use a little pull stem there, and you can clear it with it would have a female and a male stem. And so then I made that. It's got the little glass piece. When I made these hookahs, they were actually not with the bowl. They had a different type of piece on there that you could actually put your rolled, because I roll up my own. So I was like, well, hey, I want it to also be filtered through water. So let's roll it up. We'll twist one up, but then I want a device that I can put it in. So I actually had a device for the real full size version of the pocket hookah. So these are my creation. These are Gardenia glass line, the Gandalf Sherlock, the pocket hookah, and this next one here is the UFO pipe. And you can find the UFO pipe on Facebook. It has its own page, but look at that. This is the miniature, tiny little UFO guy. It's got a little alien pilot there. Let me show you a full-size version of this. Side-by-side comparison. I mean, this thing is so small, we can fit that right in the bowl. But yeah, this is the real one. And this one actually is as you can see, it's got little appendages here. This one was made for a commercial to fly in on a fish line. And I never made that commercial, so eventually maybe one day we'll do that. But I don't even make these anymore because I have an arm injury that doesn't allow me to hold weight on my arm for too long. But I can make miniatures all day, and I can make jewelry all day. So that is the collection that I made about eight or 9 years ago, right there. And so that's the Gardenia glass line and all the little things. But then, just recently, after watching those videos with my 4-year-old, we got into the cookware and stuff, and I was like, all right, now, let me see what I can do. So the first thing that I made, I'll show you how I did this. I made these in order here. So the first one I made was this. I made a little tiny glass mixing bowl. A Pyrex glass mixing bowl. I don't know if anyone else makes these handmade. I've seen them online that they're made by a mold. Some companies are making tiny glassware, but with a mold. Will that seam actually hold up to real heat? Are they killing them? They probably are if they've got a mold. I would think they would kill them. Maybe they're hand annealing. I don't know. And so, yeah, all the things over the years, right? And I keep some of these things for myself to show off and stuff. And so, there's the one bowl. And I was like, well, wait. We got to then make sure that we have a 3 set, right? So I made a bigger one. And I was like, well, this one has to fit inside of there, right? And I need a smaller one too that fits in there. Now that first one that I made, I didn't like how I made it, but these other two here, these ones, the bottoms came out so beautiful that I have to make this one again so that way they will actually fit perfectly inside each other. But pretty much, I mean, come on. For the first attempt ever in my life of making stackable Pyrex mixing bowls, oh, this is the world's first. I don't know anyone else who's made hand-blown, handmade, tiny, miniature, stackable dishes like this, or mixing bowls. So then I was like, all right, we got this. We got this. Oh, that wasn't even the first thing I made. That wasn't even the first thing. The first thing I made was this. It's a tiny little measuring cup. I would love to get myself one of those glass markers so that I can put little lines on there. But that was the first thing I made. So we got the mixing cup, or sorry, you got the measuring cup, the mixing bowls. You can see them side by side. I can probably show you everything in one hand, just like this, right? So then the next thing, I was like, okay, let's make this. Because if we're going to be mixing stuff, right, we're going to be measuring things out, well, we're also going to be cooking things, right? So then I made the very first glass. This is like Corningware right here. Look at that. Look at that saucepan. Come on. Look at that handle. Look at it. It's all flat right there. Look at that connection to it. Look at that thing. I impressed myself with that. First attempt on all of these. There is a video just last week that shows me making all of these miniatures. All of them. So then I was like, okay, well, we got a saucepan, right? Well, if we're going to have a saucepan, you got to have a skillet. Show some skills with the skillet right there. Bam. Look at that. I did see that there's a little imperfection. I see an imperfection in my glass right there. It means that it's not melted or something got hit right there. There's like a little indention. So I need to actually heat that up and we can heal that and make it perfect. But look at that little tiny pan. That's going to be so nice. I'll be heating it up and I'll touch it and I'll burn my fingers like, ah! I'll have to have little mini pot holders for my fingers. We'll get those silicone little covers. That would be perfect, actually. So then I was like, okay, we got the saucepan, we got the skillet. You got to have the 5-quart. You got to have the 5-quart pan too, right? With the double handle. Now I got to make lids for all these. But I don't know. That's going to be crazy. I've offered this setup already for $100 for the first taker if someone wants it. But this may become my very first set that I'm going to use, that I'm going to keep for myself, and start cooking online here and doing my own tiny kitchen soon. Since my 4-year-old's into this stuff, I'm like, hey, let's make some fun, cool videos. Why not? So yeah, so that's what I've got going on, and that's what I do. I just have fun. It's a lot of fun being the glass man and sharing my world with everyone here and doing all these cool, fun things. So I appreciate you tuning in with me and coming over from the Crux channel there, Wesley. I really do appreciate it. You know, I don't have many people who come in on the live stream and keep the conversation going. So this does it helps to keep me keep me from talking to myself, actually. But I'm an actor, I'm a performer, I'm a musician, I work in film, and so sometimes, you know, when the reel's rolling, you know, it's action time. So you can't make a video live stream and no one come in and then you're just sitting there quiet, because when you do the playback, you're just gonna have this boring video with no substance, no context, no nothing, no content. So I've learned that even though I don't have an audience here, I know I have an audience here, and eventually people will come and watch this whole video. So I appreciate you being here live with me and keeping this conversation going. And Philip, thanks, Phil. I'll see you soon. We'll get hopefully you can find some really cool reads and books and movies and things like that. Tomorrow's the day. And with that being said, I'm going to drink some water. Water's life. Every drop counts. Remember, always hydrate yourself. Always make sure you drink good, clean drinking water, purified water. This comes through a Berkey filtration system. We got Nikin Mag filter. I'm also into the Kangen or the Kangen water. Yeah, it's fun teaching, fun sharing. You know, I don't really like being a teacher. I like sharing. So I'm glad that you learned something today, and it's cool talking with you and shooting the shit and chilling. One other thing, just so you know, I work at with the Balloon Fiesta every year. So in October, the second weekend of October, I'm here at the Balloon Fiesta, Albuquerque International Balloon Fiesta, and I make hot air balloons. I actually replicate balloons, and I'm the only one in the world who makes or replicates balloons from the trading cards Let me see if I can show this to you. So there's that one there. And I didn't really do like all of it. And this one should have had a lot more blue in the background. So sometimes, don't do so well. But I won Best of Show at the state fair last year. And so I won this ribbon here and the first place ribbon here in 2023's Expo New Mexico State Fair. This was gifted by the KOB4, so thank you KOB4. Here's the Borough Marble League right here. Oh yeah, and that shark piece I won too. I didn't make this, I won this, but this is cool. I won that with the mini marble track from the Borough Marble League. And so, but with the balloons, I'm gonna be doing a lot of videos right now with making a lot of hot air balloons, because I'm supposed to be getting ready for Balloon Fiesta, and that's like months away. But for me, I told myself that if I can make a dozen balloons a day and work 5 days a week, a dozen times 5, you do the math, that's 60, and then times 4, that's like close to 250, right? 240, and then and then you multiply that times however many months I got now. I pretty much haven't made too many for December or January, and so I really need to get on the ball and start making these. So that's going to be coming up a lot. There's a lot of glass balloons being made, and they're just going to be a lot of generic balloons, the really simple ones that I wholesale, like this here. There's just going to be some simple color ones. This is a 3 color. I normally do 1 or 2 color ones, and then we also do our balloon. Because not only am I there, I don't work the Balloon Fiesta, I crew with the balloon team. So this is our balloon, Polar Dawn. We fly for Dawn Patrol. So I actually get to show you guys videos. There's video from last year, one of the most epic Dawn Patrol mass ascensions we've ever had in history. Ever. The photos are ridiculous. They're like on magazine covers here and there and left and right, and all these, like, wow. You got to see these photos. And I was in the balloon flying that day. I got some footage. I went live, and it's crappy because when you got 1 million spectators all going live at one time, the signal isn't good at all. So I need to get myself a mobile Wi-Fi unit. I need me a mobile hotspot. So when we get in the balloon, you guys get to have the most beautiful flight ever with me and the pilot. The pilot, Rick Jones, he has room for just one other person in his basket. And so it's an amazing personal flight. It's a once in a lifetime experience if you've never flown. For me, I fly every year. I've been crewing with him for, I think it's close to 10 years now. So I've had at least a dozen flights, because there's been a couple years where I've flown twice. And so I've had at least a dozen flights in my life. And they've all been wonderful. Some of them have been some hard landings. Some of them have been some most gentlest landing ever. Last year, the flight that I was in, it was ridiculous. Winds going here, winds going there, all the balloons in all directions. Like, no one can figure out where we're going to go, how we're going to go. And as soon as we land, we just come down like this. Like, what? I've never had a landing like that ever. He takes me up when he needs a very experienced and like a stunt. He needs a stunt passenger who can take a hard landing, who can then get out and run the line with the balloon. If we got to bring the balloon down, if it's too windy or things are going askew, we got to then have someone who knows what to do and be able to take that hard hit and then go and run. It's exciting. So you want to definitely subscribe to my channel for just that one-time experience out of the year. Other than that, I don't know. Other things too, I cover stuff like the Miami Mall aliens. I've been doing that recently, debunking all the footage. It's not something I usually do, but I've been watching a lot of alien stuff. I actually have my own personal experiences with aliens, and so I share those as well. And I've been recently just debunking all the footage, but I'm not debunking the eyewitness testimony. Something happened there in Miami. So I've been covering that a lot. I've been covering Lahaina, Maui, the fire there, and the whole desecration of the whole town. And we continuously send aloha, prayers, blessings to them. And you know, I'm not rich. I wish I had 1 million subscribers and ask every person for $1, and we just send it all that way. You know, that's the person that I am, but I'm not even monetized. Yeah, and I know you subscribe, but there's gonna be more people watching. So thank you so much for subscribing, Wesley. And yeah, I just wanted to give you a little bit more because you're new here and share with you. And I know that other new people are gonna be here. And if you share this out and you let people know what's going on over here, I might get some new followers. I'm almost, where are we at? 877 subs. I only had 850 last week, so we're gaining on subscribers. I think at least a couple a day, and only just recently was I at like 300 or 400 subscribers, and I've gotten up to close to 1K now. So I appreciate all of you who subbed, and I'll be covering all I can with what's going on over there with the Davos, the WEF, the World Economic Forum, the Germany farmers tractor protests happening right now. It's huge. I don't know if you guys remember, but we had some of the largest protests around the globe happening right before they shut everything down with COVID. In 2019, Bangkok had some of the largest protests going on in China, and then it was all shut down right there. So be very careful because they've already talked about this whole disease X coming out, right? X. Interesting that Elon changed his whole thing to X. Like a virus. Gonna get us all sick. Disease X. Virus X. Yeah, so with all that being said, love and blessings to you all. Thanks for watching. I'll bring you some more glass because I gotta keep making more. Let's check the count. Ooh, Kim's at 1123. We gotta bring that down. Alright, so that's pretty much fired. I'm gonna smoke. I'm gonna take a break. It's what time is it? Is it still early? Oh my gosh, it's still before 10 o'clock. Alright, well, that's a lot of work done in the morning. Cool. We'll see you soon. I'm out. Yeah, I don't trust Elon either. Or his EVs in the cold. But yeah, we got to have some kind of mad scientist in our world. Talk to you guys soon.